Hello, my fellow neckbeards. I'm Mr. Church. Today we're going to be building my mom's house with, of course, the adjacent my mom's basement, which is where we're going to be making videos, playing video games, and getting angry and screaming different things in area chat that's most likely not really repeatable in a civilized society. So what I'm actually going to do first is lay out a little driveway, and then I'm going to raise this up slightly for the house to be with it. And there's going to be an adjacent garage, potentially. I'm going to set the foundation for a garage, but we're also going to be making an actual basement here. So if there's not enough budget for the garage, that's going to be the first on our list to get rid of to make room for the build. So if we have the budget for it, we'll do a garage. If not, we will get rid of the garage. Now, I actually saw one of my friends, X Lil Miss Vixen X, building a basement, and I thought, well, you know, I would love to steal your content. I mean, I was really inspired by what she was doing, and I said, well, I want to make a basement. Fuck. And so then I started working on a basement. Oh, by the way, go check out her channel. I'll leave a link in the description so that you can see her builds and see that I stole her idea. I mean, inspired by... So what we're going to do here is we're building this symptomatic on rugs, and we're going to be sinking that round rug, or we're going to sink the other two things into the round rug, and that's going to let us go under the map so that we can place things easier. It's a lot less clumsy than using the base to get down the stairs. Again, I saw Stole You Sweet Roll doing this first, so there's the shout out for that. Of course, because I steal content, yeah, sure, but I'm gonna say when I do, it's only fair, I think. There's only so many things you can do in a game like this, so eventually you're taking something that someone already did. I mean, yeah, so, let's not get too worried about what's going on here. Now, what I've done is I laid out the foundation over here, but that's just kind of to mark out where we want it, and also to get the walls in up there to kind of see what we want to do below. But then I can get rid of these for forever. And I'm going to put one of these graded floors here because we're going to be able to put this symptomatic through that floor because, and I don't know, sometimes random sounds will come out of my mouth. That's just part of the process of building here. You try to just get on with life as best you can. Now, because this is floating, everything's technically floating. The stairs were floating there by themselves, and we're snapping stuff to the stairs. That means there is literally no support for any of these floors. That means you want to be very careful when you're putting them in, that you put them in the way you want them. You will not be able to move them, rotate them, or delete them because they'll be jammed in there. Now, later on, I wanted to add a front staircase, which required me getting rid of these floors, and I left it in to show you what you can do if you accidentally put down one of these floors wrong, because it can happen to the worst of us. I mean, yeah. So, I'm just going to be throwing these walls in there all the way around here, and above ground as well. And as you can see, you can put this through the grate floor, and then you can just replace it with a normal floor to get that down there. So then I'm going to make a second one of these that doesn't have the big carpet, and that's just going to be a symptomatic sunk through the thatched rug. And that is going to be our way in and out now that we have a floor. There's no reason to have that big carpet floating underneath the symptomatic. So I'm making a second one that doesn't have the carpet. And sometimes while you're doing this, one of the pieces here will become a solid world object, and you will be fucked. So you can actually see the problem here. It will get stuck, and then you'll just have to switch servers, or just leave it there and move your stuff off to the side. But it can happen, like I said, to the worst of us. That's why it happened to me. Just a little self-deprecation for you. Hope that cheers you up. I noticed there's a trend of people, you know, they love to go into the comments section and let me know, you know, how repulsive I am in different ways. And that's okay. I welcome it. But believe me, buddy, nothing you could say will ever be as beautiful as what I already tell myself. So thanks for the the vote of confidence in my skills and everything else I've achieved in life, which is, let's see, I got out of bed today. That's pretty good. So yeah, fuck you. Now, what we're gonna do is replace that. Now, here's the time I spoke of. I'm going to show you if you need to get rid of stuff, build over to a foundation. Get this out of the way, what the fuck. And once you do that, you'll be able to delete the floors in reverse order, back to the stairs, up the stairs, and then the top floor as well. And this is just, and you will have to delete everything, because when we want to put everything back, you're not going to want any foundations and stairs and stuff attached. So you will have to delete all of that stuff, but it's better than replacing the whole camp. And the reason I did this is I want to put that foundation over there by the doorway. And that's just so that we can add a front porch, a step, if you will. So when you're building this, just put that front porch in before you do any of the floors. I did it out of order because, you know, I am a fallible human being. And this game, well, let's face it, sucks in some ways, not very many. Now, something hilarious about this game is also the porch. If you attach stairs to the porch, they will sit higher up than if you attach them to a foundation. So we're going to use a porch right there, have a second foundation behind it, then you'll be able to delete that porch, and then the stairs will be there by themselves. And then we're just going to put everything back how it was. Using the catwalk to float the stair, and then snapping the upper floors to that. Then we're going to use our carpeted symptomatic to get down here and put down a floor. And then once this floor's down, we're going to switch the carpeted symptomatic out for our other one. It's just basic annoyance. But if you do it right, if you're careful, if you're slow with placing these, you won't have to redo any of that. And make sure you put the front porch in with the foundations before putting any of these floors in, and then you won't have any problems at all. But it's just good to avoid any of that, because if you already have to deal with, you know, the different things going on in your life, you don't really want to deal with extra stress. That's why we play this game, right? To relieve our stress. What? No. Also, this is going to be, you know, my mom's basement, and that means we're going to make sure we give our mom a nice place to live. Now, you can see I actually built the garage real quick. That's just an empty shell. And at this point in the build, I was starting to suspect, yes, I will have to delete that later. So I'm not really going to focus too much on that. Now, I'm going to throw the roof on real quick. I wasn't sure what to do at first, so I put that there, and I was like, wait a second. Now that I can see it, let's actually not do that. And let's add some variation and make the inner part a little bit higher. Let's have vaulted ceilings. This will give us a little bit of room inside, and add some variation to the outer appearance of the build. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Do you think that I know what I'm doing? Because I don't. I mean, like here, for example, I make flat sides on the building, and it looked weird. And so after spending all this time doing that, I went back and made those sides be a bit less flat, and in fact, not flat at all. In fact, that's just, I don't know. But, you know, it's all part of the 17,000 hours of time put into this game, is really just undoing everything you just did, taking a step back and realizing, holy shit, I have grown, because it's been 7 years and I'm still working on the same build. And it's probably time to get back in touch with my loved ones and see if they're still alive. And turns out, don't worry, most of them are. So let's see. This is let's not really get into that though right now. This is a happy build time. We don't need to talk about like funerals and stuff. Remember, we're escaping reality, yes, of course. So we don't need to deal with pesky things like the game sucking and everyone, just in corporate situations taking advantage of people and stealing all their money. So I'm adding this downstairs in the basement here, burning it, and it's going to give us a pillar for support, and also a little bit of a what is that called? A lip on the floor? That's called something. A threshold? I don't know. It's like where the edge of the carpet is, and then you put like that piece of wood down so the edge of the carpet doesn't fray. Yeah, that's that thing. And if I could just have 17,000 people tell me in the comment section what that's called. Especially, if you see other people that have already answered the question, that's when I want you to go ahead and say what it's called. Because, I don't read all the comments. I just read, if someone said the same thing like 14 times, then I'll read it. But like if you can't read the comments and like figure out if something's been said before, why should I? Why should I read? I'm just kidding, of course. I read all the comments, especially the ones that are written from a place of love and respect, like the ones that tell me that my personality reminds them or gives them chlamydia. I do apologize. I realize that most people think that that's only transmissible through intercourse. I guess I was wrong about that. I didn't realize that it could be spread vocally. So if you have been, subjected to my voice and have somehow gotten chlamydia from that, I do apologize, but I will not be offering financial compensation, mostly because I don't have any money except for what's left over from my last heist, which I don't like to talk about on the channel because it's fucking illegal. And a joke, by the way, in case you're watching, officer. Now, be careful when you put your stairs down in here because they won't be able to be deleted. Now, we are underground. I need to get the camp node down here so I can do the reverse drop merge, which I'll show you in a minute if you have no idea what I'm talking about. The problem is we can't pick that camp node up and then take it through the symptomatic, right? That's not going to work. So how do we get the camp node down here? Well, I thought about it and I thought, let's build some stuff out the side of the house that can't be deleted, by the way. So keep that in mind. And this... we'll put that right there, and I'm going to put a roof here somehow once God lets me do it, which he doesn't, of course. Spoilers, he hates me, and it's just because I keep mocking that whole crucifixion business. Not mocking it, but like jovially laughing. I mean, it's like you're going to say too soon. It's been 2,000 years. I think you can get over it, especially because you didn't even, like, you came back alive. Like, you died less than anybody else ever has. So anyway, let's put down some stash boxes here. Now, the roof is going to keep us from popping up through the map when we jump up on this thing. And this thing is going to let us, peek our head above the ground, hopefully enough to grab that box. So let's jump up on top of here carefully. And now we're mushed. And the stash box pushes. Oh, okay. And then we grab it, and we came down here. That was a shock that worked, to be honest. Now, if you have enough of these things, you can spend about an hour, and finally it'll attach to something. Find the one that it's actually attached to. That's the one you want. Okay. Now let's put this up here so that we can actually place it down. And now we're gonna do the reverse drop merge. So what happens is when we place something on top of this thing, it pops downward, which of course will push that other thing upward in a glorious way. So we're going to use this as our computer monitor for when we're down here playing different games that we can, like, especially like sweaty PvP games where we can like shoot people. And then once we've downed someone that has 0 experience and is clearly less, into the game than us, what we can do is we can stand over their dead body and teabag them to, kind of assert our dominance, if you will, so that they'll respect us. And it's mostly because we don't get any respect at home, because our mom is dating that piece of shit, and he's always abusive, and it really is pretty hurtful. So I think if we can, get our inner pain out on strangers online, we will feel a lot better as human beings. Now over here, I'm going to put brick on the inside, and then using the burny bit, there's actually 3 different textures you can get when you burn brick, but we want this one actually. There's 2 other ones. Just repair and keep burning if you don't get the one that you want. And then we're going to use this floor outside that's already here from when we got this stuff and place a doorway facing that way, change it to a wall, and now we have a hole that we punch through the drywall. It's a very big hole, but like, you know, we've been playing this game for a while. We have a lot of drywall to work on. So now I'm upstairs adding a little bit of a hidden area that we can put like a generator in. So what I've got here is a half wall, and I'm going to put a generator in here with a conduit attached, hide that in there. We can get rid of the door because that's broken, and then we can repair that. We didn't do it. And then just wallpaper it, and that's inside there. In the back corner bathroom, I'm going to put curtains by putting these, I guess they're doors, but they're not. And downstairs, let's put empties next to our bed, all the Red Bull that we drank for sustenance, so that we could have power and also feel more alert when we're trying to do our pro gaming, which of course is what sets us apart from everyone else. Let's take a peek at the finished product. So first you're going to notice there's a weird bunny thing standing on the lamp with 1 foot. That's a balancing act. She's just trying to, better herself, and that's one of the ways she can do it. That's actually reasonable madness. Now, if you come inside, you'll notice it looks beautiful in here, and we've got a kitchen. Let's close that so there's not a draft soaking into our bones. And up above that chunk, I put something. But first, let's look at this kitchen here. Now, what I did, I made this kitchen by myself using SharePlay and making Reasonable Madness do it by giving her the controls and telling her that I wasn't going to make a kitchen. Please make me a kitchen and a sandwich. And that's because I live in my mom's basement. I'm not going to be able to make a kitchen. I can't even go into the kitchen. In fact, only women can do that. I'm not actually sexist, by the way. This is clearly a joke. But if you don't get that, that's fine. You're probably already left because of the chlamydia stuff. And for getting chlamydia, I do apologize again. That's, by the way, the Anne Frank little box up there, so we can hide. Oh, was that too soon? I'm sorry. Let's look in here. I've got the bathroom. We have the bookshelf to hold all of our adult novels and things like that to keep us occupied when we're supposed to be cleaning the bathroom. If we come into my mom's bedroom, you'll see that we have, of course, the bathroom back here, just a drape. And then, of course, I use those as actual drapes. And it's much cleaner, as you can see, than my bathroom. And that's because, well, cleanliness is close to godliness, and I'm a piece of shit. Over here, we have the coin slot for my mom's bed. And let's not get into the Oedipus stuff right now. Let's just move on. Close that. Don't talk about it. In fact, I don't feel safe anymore. Let's go downstairs to where we do feel safe, and that is the basement. Now, we, of course, are using this to get up and down. So I've boxed this off in the corner so it doesn't really interact or ruin the view of this place. On this end, I have the unfinished part of the basement with the workbenches, and then over here we have, the wood paneling and stuff, and you can smell the mold and mildew as you come down here. You can see it emanating from my bed, which I haven't washed in about 7 years, and over here is where I'm going to be gaming. So I've got the punched out drywall, I've got the punching bag, which I always picture as my stepfather's face. It helps me kind of burn through this inner turmoil within, because there's no way I'm going to see a therapist, because the toxic masculinity that's been, pushed upon me for all my life, it's just not going to allow me to take that first step towards becoming a better person and healing some of my inner wounds. So I'm just going to punch this drywall and, if you don't mind, be better than everyone else at a video game, because I can't do anything to better myself in reality. Now, out back, I didn't really do anything, including get rid of the safety foundation that I left there in case I needed to redo anything. That's definitely deletable. You can delete that. You don't need that. But we can circle around the house, kind of like the people coming for me after school do, throwing stuff at the windows and stuff. And then, yeah, it's just a little... Yeah, I got rid of the garage. Not enough budget for that, but I used the hedges, which is all good, you know? They're not broken at all, and they don't bug out. And that was also sarcasm. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you liked this build, and I hope you can visit soon, even though I don't have friends. And thank you so much to my patrons for your support. I appreciate it a lot. If you guys aren't subscribed, consider subscribing. It helps the channel immensely and helps my self-esteem a little bit. It's not a lot, but it does help me in the future. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.